then you can feel like you're making progress and that you're not losing out. Because I think one of the things that's troubling you is you think that every time you spend, you're losing out. Every time money leaves your hand, you're losing something. You're not losing anything per se. You're exchanging it for something else. Welcome, everyone, to the latest edition of Wallet Talks Podcast, where we are exploring ways to have better conversations about money so we can make better decisions with our money. I am your host, Jason Alexander. Have you been wondering how to get your money right? Stressing every month with never-ending lists of financial demands? Or are you just tired of not knowing where all your money is going? Did you know that Wallet Coach has a solution? Wallet Coach offers one-to-one coaching sessions to get your money back into shape. Wallet Coach was formed to help everyday people get financially secure and free by teaching a 4-step approach to money management. Our favorite testimony is one client who saved up $1,000 as an emergency fund within 6 months while only making $1,800 a month. If you are curious how Wallet Coach can help you in similar ways, sign up for a free 15-minute consultation on our website, thewalletcoach.com. That's thewalletcoach.com. Or text the word coach to 470-606-8949 to get a link to schedule. Now back to the show. Yo, family, this is a special episode. I am so excited to share with you because guess what? This is episode number 10. That's right, number 10. Oh my gosh, can't believe I got here. So there's 3 reasons why this is a special episode. Number 1, like I said, reach the goal. 10 podcasts. Do you know that the average podcast, that's a startup podcast, only lasts 6 episodes? So I haven't doubled that yet, but I've gotten to 10. That's one of my goals. Like, let me get to 10, then let me get to 15, let me get to 20. So I'm giving myself a little clap, giving thank you. Also giving you guys a thank you for listening, for tuning in, and for sharing and commenting, because you guys motivate me. You guys have inspired me when I was like, okay, I don't want to do this no more. Or when I thought about do I have to do it again? I started thinking about their comments. They bring life back to me. And so I come back out and do it again. We're going to get to 20, y'all. And then next thing you know, we'll be at 100. So I have some big goals for 2022. But this is episode number 10. And the second reason why 10 is so special to me is because it reminds me of being 10 years in marriage. The number 10 this year means a lot. So 10 episodes now, 10 years married in March. So that is a very interesting point, because if you saw one of our recent IG posts, we put a post up there saying this is us. And it gave a description of what we've been through, what our financial journey was. And if you did not see it, go look at go check it out, of course, and put a like and share and comment, save, and tag a friend. All those great things. The thing that was in the story was our debt journey started off with my wife challenging me to come up with a debt-free plan. In our debt-free plan, I came up with, guess what? 10 years to pay off my loan and to pay off our student loans, our credit cards, and things of that nature. So it's ironic that on episode number 10, in year number 10 of our marriage, I look back and I'm like, wow, this would have been a year that we would have been debt free if I had the plan that I had. And you can go back and look at the post and see why we didn't go that route. Mainly, just teaser, it was mainly because I thought about the student loan forgiveness thing. You had to work at a certain job for 10 years. Yeah, that didn't work. So, yeah. So yeah, 10 years ago, debt free. And yeah, and now you guessed it. The third reason is We're 10 years married. So much I've learned again, like I just said. But in addition to that, we learned a lot of how to communicate with one another. And because of that, in those 10 years, um, I believe have cultivated a love between each other, a respect for each other, and a open heart and vulnerability to one another. And it's going to be illustrated in this episode. Why? Because you guys are going to get a glimpse of me and Tiffany having a conversation about money. And that was completely random. The Holy Spirit prompted me to record it. I recorded it. She knew she was being recorded, so she didn't say anything to, defame herself or, embarrass me or whatever. So don't think you're gonna get some tea in here. But you will get to see how we were vulnerable to each other, how we spoke to each other, how we walked through a deep concern that honestly I would say for a lot of people could be hindering themselves in the way that they think and how they relate to money. So we talked about how we relate to money, especially about using money for saving, or using it for experiences. And the foundation of all those things are going to come out into the episode. I mean, it's going to come through the conversation. So I will say, because it is spontaneous, we didn't use the best microphones. It was our cell phone. So just FYI, it's going to be a little solemn. Just stick with it, right? Just listen in. Tiffany was a little bit further from the mic. I was more closer to the mic. You get the point. I hope you enjoy. I hope that it provides you some insights and inspires you and just helps in some kind of way for you to have better money conversations with your spouse. This is a spouse conversation. If you're not married, but you want to be married, listen to the conversation and see how we handled each other. Okay? So, without further ado, my peeps, we are going to the topic of the day without the intro music. I'm just going to slide right on in and I'm going to set it up for Tiffany. She was starting to explain what she sees as the way to save money and the value in saving money and what it brings to her through this illustration that she's going to share in this next moment. So listen closely. Love you guys. I'll see you on the other side.
It's barely moving.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be that. Like, I want.
Say that.
It's kind of like a Jenga. You know how you move the Jenga, and then all the pieces stay there. And it takes a lot of different pieces to be able to really get everything to crumble.
Well,
but I like the stack. I like the
stacking your money.
Activity of stacking the money and being able to pull from it and it don't move.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. It's just
that's
there.
But just like Jenga, if you're trying to build your tower with the existing blocks that you have by removing from the bottom and putting them in the top, you eventually are going to end up with a structure that's hollow in the middle and becomes more and more less stable or sustainable the higher you go, because of the many things that you've done that because you haven't replaced the foundation. You took from the foundation. I don't know if that makes sense in a sense. It doesn't kind of correlate, but if you're focused on just using the pieces you already have, I see that you're only going to go so far. Right? It's only going to go so far. So the mindset, what if you just had the mindset of, okay, money is going to make money for me. And or let me say it this way, because that sounds like it's a scheme and all that stuff. What if we think of it as God has given us an abundance? He wants us to live abundantly. He's given us abundance. There's enough money for everybody and everything, anything that we want. We just have to put ourselves in a position to receive it.
Yes, he has all the money, but in terms of how much a person can make, it's, to me, in some regards, it feels like it's finite.
And why is that? Why do you think it's finite?
All I can think of, and maybe I'm using the wrong word when I say finite, all I can think of is you get money, it goes away, you build it back up, it goes away. It's like sand. It's like you building a sandcastle, and you build a sandcastle, you put all this into the bucket, you flip it over. Oh, I got all my money. And then
You gotta start back over.
you gotta start back over. I don't want to start back over.
That's why you use other people's money.
Whose?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It's someone else besides us who gave us on credit, believing we'll pay them back. While the money that you don't want to touch, let it grow on its own organically.
But
it just keeps building and building while you go and use someone else's funds to go purchase your big ticket items, your car, your boat, whatever.
There's no
right?
guarantee it's going to come back.
There's no guarantee what's going to come back.
That the money's going to come back to you.
Hold on. Because with that mentality, you're right, because I haven't finished the formula. The formula is you borrow from someone else to make your big ticket purchase. Now you're like, okay, well, how is that money going to get paid back? Typically, the formula is I, myself, and from my savings, whatever I earn and whatever I can save is going to go and pay that loan back over time. The thing that is different, what I'm trying to show you is, if you really want your money to just stay and stack, but you still want to be able to have these splurges where you go on this massive cruise or escape and expeditions and things like that, they're going to take a big chunk of your savings. But if you want to keep your savings intact and whole, you can use someone else's money. Now, how are you going to pay that back? You pay that back by creating an asset that pays it back. Remember, assets are those things that put money into your pocket.
So when I'm spending, it's a liability.
Absolutely. But that's okay. It's okay. It's part of the equation.
You
have assets. You have assets. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing as far as like buying a rental property with someone else's money, so that our money can continue to grow while we're incrementally building an asset that can pay for the things that we wanted. So it's not us paying anymore. It's not us it's training our time and training our mind and energy for dollars. We're trading our time and energy to acquire assets. And those assets are self-generate cash flow. And that cash flow is used to pay off your liabilities. Liabilities and assets and liabilities is not something to be mutually exclusive. You can have them together and have a solid balance sheet.
I get it. I'm just, when it comes to our everyday budget, or when it comes to the situation at hand, which is figuring out where to budget the overflow. It's like there's so many different things, of course, you can do. All these ideas in my head, but then it's like, but then the money's gone. And then I have to get it, I have to build up the money again to be able to experience it again. And then it's kind of like it's better just not experience it at all, because it's got to be sustained.
So then you really like having the money accumulate versus having an experience. That's what you just said. I'd rather have my money sit.
No, I'd rather have the experience and the money just replenish itself easily.
Okay. So that goes into my asset formula.
Yeah.
Asset methodology. So it's going to be repaid back by your own efforts or the efforts of of a business and or asset, whether that's your retirement account, your life insurance policy, your your business, all those different things are assets that generate cash to do the things that you've been saying. So the question is, why am I stuck on seeing my money go down or seeing myself spend on things that I have ideas for? I have the money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't save every single dollar because you have to spend to live.
Yeah.
You have to spend money to have food, have shelter, have drive around, have clothes on your back, all those different things. So money is going to go no matter what. And if you can't be delusional to think that that's not going to happen. However, you should have a good balance in your mindset to say, all right, if I'm able to save this much and invest this much in percentages, and you meet your percentages, your percentage thresholds, then you can feel like you're making progress and that you're not losing out. Because I think one of the things that's troubling you is you think that every time you spend, you're losing out. Every time money leaves your hand, you're losing something. You're not losing anything per se. You're exchanging it for something else.
I think I figured out the crux of the problem. The crux of the problem is obviously the things that I'm spending on are not as valuable as the price point that's assigned to them.
Let's explain that.
So basically, I might say I want a massage, for instance. I dole out the money for it, but if I don't feel like the massage was worth the money that I put out, then I don't value it as much as I don't value it, and or I don't value the price point that's assigned to that activity. So I need to make sure that when I'm spending my money, it's on things that are actually valuable to me and at the price point that I want it to be. Or, I can also find me activity that I really want, even if it's not the amount that I want it to be or what I want to spend, experience it, and the experience should be so great that I shouldn't be hesitant to experience that again because it was so great that money wasn't a factor. So maybe I'm having an issue with not living life as full as I want it to be.
Yeah, because I think you're thinking about you having to replenish everything.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to think about replenish. I should think about the activity being some type of replenishment to me.
Exactly. But also, it's kind of like you have to, and to add to that, your mindset should also be of that of Adam and Eve in the garden. They didn't worry about how things, before they sinned, they didn't worry about how the trees were going to replenish the fruit that they took off the tree, or the water that came. They trusted God to provide for their needs.
Yeah.
So ultimately it comes down to, okay, am I going to trust God to supply my need? And if he has abundance of everything, of course he's not going to be lacking anything. But if we depend on ourselves to replenish, yes, we're going to run dry. We're going to run out. And I think at that point, that might be something where that terrifies even you or other people. It's like, okay, I myself, when you said an infinite amount of money you can make, I myself can only make, by exchanging my time for money, can make this much money because my time is only so limited and I only have so much to give, I only have so much to whatever. And when you're thinking like that to replenish whatever you're spending, you're going to start to sense that I can't spend everything. At some point you're going to start saying, I'm not going to spend nothing because I know I don't have enough energy and resources to replenish.
Well, my thing is, it's not necessarily a need as much as being concerned about a need being met. I don't have those types of concerns. My concerns are more so the things that are outside of my bare necessities. Things, like I said, that are things I just want to do, experience, have. And I guess there's a part of me that feels like I experience that and then it's insatiable. I mean, that it's satisfied for that one moment, and then it's like, what next? And it's like, oh, well, you gotta get more money to do that again. And I think that if I just focus on just having that experience and not thinking about, will I be able to experience that again? Just experience it. And if I enjoy it so much, it shouldn't be too hard to get the money again because you want it. So you do what you need to do, or save, or whatever, to be able to experience that again. Like the high lingers versus it being a one and done experience. And I think that's how I'm approaching some things. Like, I feel like it's just a one and done experience, and it's like, no, you can develop a lifestyle that you enjoy. And maybe not necessarily, I guess it is a lifestyle, but lifestyle is made up of activities. So just, I can have like the activities that I enjoy in life that give me some type of constant for lack of better words, fulfillment, where it's something I just enjoy on a everyday basis, or however frequency that it happens, and not just see it as a one and done thing. So probably just need some hobbies that drive me to continue to do it over and over again, and then it's like, oh, I'm having fun doing this one thing. And I was getting a rhythm before this crazy new variant came out. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other, and then it was like, okay, the case is going up again. Let me scale back. But some of that's pinned in fear of just catching something and stuff. But I also don't want to look back in life and be like, I didn't experience what I could have experienced because of fear of a virus. Of course, you balance that with wisdom and stuff. But these people out here ain't, always doing the right thing. So you do have to be cautious.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I just need to find some things within my comfort level that I can do on a continuous basis that will bring some type of enjoyment to spend the money, and not feel like I'm holding on to the money to spend for an opportunity that may or may not even come, but even just an opportunity, that is a one-time thing, or it's way out in advance. I guess I got some thinking to do. I mean, what about you? Are there some things you feel like outside of investing? I know you like that, but what are some experiences, activities that you want on a consistent basis, where you'll feel like you're still living life, not just trying to run this race, this financial race of obtaining wealth?
So if I were to say it another way, what activities do I want to have that makes me feel alive?
Yeah.
So for me, that's doing stuff that makes me feel alive, like running the business,
Mm-hmm.
or serving at church. Mm-hmm. Those things make me feel alive. Mm-hmm. There's not those are experiences for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's not the same mode as someone who would say, I want to go to having a routine where I go to 5-star restaurants every Friday to experience that makes me come alive. That's not me. Mm-hmm. So for me would be the opportunity to have fun with the people that's around me, to be able to serve people. That's what makes me happy. Now, do I want to have the opportunities to do some things that are more sporadic and less frequent? Yeah, like, go to a sporting event or a couple of sporting events or go to the movies and things like that. But you specifically said something that's of a routine, and I don't have anything besides doing the business and serving at church. But both of those build wealth.
Yeah. And what about when you said being around people? Like, does being around people include having experiences with them, or just...
No, I mean, you can. When you say experiences, are you talking about an excursion or just being in presence of someone?
Excursions or having get-togethers? Like, what does that mean?
When I say around people, I envision it as get-togethers.
So where
having
is that?
People here. We have this house for a reason. We have the house. Our purpose for this house. Well, one of my visions outside of renting a basement was to have this as a small group house, so people can come and fellowship and experience. Like, we can do life together. We can play games together. We can have the Jacksons here, or whoever we want, and we can play games at the table, or laugh at the movie, or celebrate someone's birthday.
So why aren't we doing it?
Right now, we're not doing it because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, that's COVID has existed the entire time we've had this house. So we haven't had a season where that wasn't a factor, and I can freely live out that vision. Now, that vision, we could live it out partially because we have do protocols of things, safety protocols and stuff like that. But we're now you got to make sure that other people here's a perfect example of I'm not saying enjoy experiences and being around people and helping people, serving people. When the Edwards came over,
Mm-hmm.
that was enjoyable. We celebrated my friend's birthday here. They came over and we spent 4 or 6 hours together.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little picnic at the table. We sat out in the sunroom.
Took a walk.
I think we took a walk. Like, that was beautiful. That was an experience. Now, it's not, IG worthy where you go out and say, hey, I just did zip lining from the Himalayan mountains or something like that. But it's something that I treasure.
No, you're right. I mean, that was one of the reasons we got the house. We want to have those experiences with the people that are, not just in our circle, but for others as well. And, unfortunately, COVID has kind of dampened things. So we just have to think about reinventing that in a different way. Like, how can we still have these experiences with people that we care about? COVID-friendly style.
Mm-hmm.
And creatively. Do you have any thoughts?
I don't. It's basically, you can have people. Well, here's a thought. If you want me to think about something, we can have people over. Everyone just wears a mask. You limit the number of people in here. You make sure everybody gets tested have a negative test before they get here, and then you can come in here.
Just so burdensome.
But that's one of the things you said. Work around it.
You're right.
This is one of the ways to work around it. It's not going to be convenient. COVID hasn't made things convenient for us.
That's true.
So if someone who wants to come over, or we desire them to come over, and they're not willing to go through the rigors that we will like for them to go through, then that's one experience with those people we won't have. Yeah. However, for those people who will indulge us in those standards, we have experiences with them. Yeah. You have to accept it's kind of like accepting what the defense gives you. Mm-hmm. You playing a game and they trying to block off the 3-point line, but they leaving the whole ride wide open, the paint wide open. So you go driving to the paint, or worse yet, they blocking the paint because they don't want you to dunk on them. But they get to leave the 3-point line open, and you're like, well, I'm not a really good 3-point shooter. Well, get into the practice of being a good 3-point shooter because they're leaving you open. You got to take what the defense gives you. Mm-hmm. So in this situation, take what COVID has given us. We can score. In this basketball analogy, we can score. We just got to figure out how we can score and train ourselves to be comfortable with those new ways. One of those is having those boundaries, like we just talked about, and having masks going the whole entire time, things like that. So, or having more virtual visits with people.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is our house is spread out in a way where you could easily social distance.
Yeah.
In a lot of different areas. So that, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I got some thinking to do about the experiences I want and where and what money I want towards it. And, I think I need to gauge if I'm not willing to spend on it, is it because I don't love it enough, or is it too expensive, or what? I gotta figure out how much I want it too. Like, I have to release money. I can't just hold on to it. Life is not free.
Nope.
Somebody's got to get paid off of something so they can live a life too. So I think I got some thinking to do. And think of money as a gift to be able to experience those things and bless somebody else.
A gift card?
I said nothing about a gift card. So, okay. Well, thanks for having this talk with me. I just gotta think about it for this budget because I want to be able to execute on those things.
Yeah. Write them down on your book and just keep writing it. Ask yourself why. Why?
Why what?
When you're trying to find what experience you want and which ones that you value, write them all down that comes to your mind. But then after you write them down, ask yourself at least 3 whys. Like why? And then whatever doesn't fall off as you keep saying why, and you can really answer all of those whys, then that's the one that you really can value. Otherwise, it's kind of like, well, why do you want a Lamborghini? Oh, it'll be fresh. Why it'll be fresh? Because I can impress someone.
Why do you want to impress someone?
Why do you want to impress someone? Oh, well, I don't really want to impress anyone, but you see what I'm saying? How that fell through on the third why? Mm-hmm. Ask yourself 5 whys and just see.
Well, sometimes people would say, because I want to be important. Why do you want to feel important?
Why do you want to
Because I don't feel important. Well, why don't you feel important?
Yeah. Why don't you feel important?
Well,
why
this
is
happened
this
to me? And it's like, okay, well, this is a whole nother issue.
Yeah. Why exactly?
Yeah. Money was never meant to. Money can definitely help solve things, but it's not meant to replace things that are not right in your life in terms of more intrinsic or internal things that are going on that deal with healing. Going back to that example.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if your money is not being spent in a way that you feel like is satisfactory, you should do some diving into why. Think about what's important to you. Maybe even think about why you're not spending on it. And maybe you'll come out on the other side realizing what I'm not doing is what I really want to do. And it's worth it. Because it adds value to your life. And the things that don't, cut them out.
Tiffany, that is how you close it out with a great summary. Listen, family, I told you, I hope you got something out of it. I told you it's going to be good. I just want to reiterate one small thing is that have these conversations so that you can drill down to the heart of the matter. Because once we get to the root of the matter, we can see if we need to dig something up or plant new things. Dig something up and plant new things, or prune what we already have. In the end, we were able to not resolve something right then and there, but it will start, a seed was planted to change our mindset. And so, as we close out today, I just want you to remember that no matter where you are, you still can prosper, you still can grow, you can be all that you know, kind of like the army. You can be all that you can want to be, or something like that. But you just got to believe. And it starts with changing your mindset. So it doesn't matter what you make, it's what you do, what you make. So if you change your mind, you change your wallet, you change your life. This is your boy, Jason Alexander, your wallet coach, and I'm out. Episode number 10 in the books, baby. Yeah.